Most seven-figure D2C brands think their ads are the problem. They're not. In the last 12 months, almost every single brand that we've audited has had the exact same problem. The funnel is leaking before the ads even have a chance to work. And the worst part, the brand owner has no idea. They're pouring money into Meta, testing new creatives, hiring new media buyers, and none of it moves the needle because the store itself is broken. Today, I'm gonna walk you through exactly how we find those leaks, the 4 zones we audit, what we're looking for, and what these gaps are actually costing you. So let's get into it. Here's the default assumption that most brand owners make. If revenue is flat, ad spend needs to go up. New creative, new copy, new campaign structure, maybe even a new agency. And sometimes that is the right move. But most of the time when we get into an account, the ads are actually fine. The traffic is coming in, the cost per click is reasonable, people are landing on the product page, but then they leave. Not because of the ad, but because of what happened after the ad. Now, here's why this matters so much. Because a broken funnel doesn't just cost you sales. What it does is it amplifies wasted ad spend. Essentially, every dollar that you're putting in to get customers is not working as hard as it could, meaning you have to spend more money to get less customers, all because the website can't close sales. So before we create a single campaign or design a single ad creative, we do an audit of the entire funnel, top to bottom, no matter what. The brand profile we're talking about today is one that we see consistently. It's usually an e-commerce brand. They're doing between $1 and $5 million a year in revenue. They've got some Meta ads going, they got some Google ads going, but growth has plateaued. They're spending more money on ads, but they can't get that growth to start going up again. The founder is frustrated because they know the product is good. They just can't figure out why the business isn't scaling. That brand is almost always leaving money on the table inside their own website. So I want to show you exactly the steps that we take in order to find those leaks and fix them. Our audit is designed to be completed in under 60 minutes. It's not deep technical analysis, it's a systematic review of the 4 zones that we most commonly see brands leaking money. Zone number 1, the landing page. This is your first impression. We're checking, is the offer clear above the fold? Does the page load fast? Is there logical visual hierarchy that guides people throughout the buying process? Most issues here are clarity problems, and they're a lot more common than a lot of business owners think. Even brands that have been around for 20, 30 years still have these issues. And usually it's because the brand knows what they're selling. They've been around it for so long, and they have stale eyes. And so when someone fresh comes to the website who's never seen the brand before, they don't have the first idea what they're selling. So it's all just vague. Zone 2 is the product page. This is typically where most of the money is lost. We're looking at trust signals. Do they, number 1, exist, but also are they positioned correctly? We're looking at objection handling. Not only is there an FAQ, but are you handling objections throughout the product page itself? And finally, we're looking at information architecture. Is the information laid out in a way that is easy to digest, or is it laid out in a way that makes it feel confusing and overwhelming to look at? Zone 3 is your cart page. And this page should close the sale, but most brands we audit, the cart page is doing nothing. The biggest thing we're checking for here is urgency. Is there something that tells the buyer they gotta complete the purchase right now? They should not leave the website. They should not think about it. They should not talk to their significant other. They should make the purchase. We're also checking for savings visibility. If you're offering a discount, does it show up in the cart page? If so, how does it show up? And lastly, we're checking for friction. How difficult is it? And how many clicks does it take to go from the cart page to entering their credit card information and checking out? Even unnecessary steps in that process will lose you sales. Zone number 4 is your post-purchase. And the weird thing is that most brands end the relationship after they make the sale. And yet that's when people are the most likely to want to spend even more money with you. They've just given you their credit card. They've just said, yes, I trust you enough. I trust your product enough to pay for it and to buy it and wait for it. And yet most people just send a thank you email. This is a massive opportunity missed. When someone completes a purchase, it's the highest trust moment in the entire user journey. And what happens after that determines if they leave a review, if they add another item to their order, or if they make that purchase their first purchase and their last purchase. So those are the 4 zones: landing page, product page, cart page, and post-purchase. Now, let me show you what we find when we actually run this audit. And maybe it'll give you a good idea as to what you could find in your business as well. Now, I will warn you, for some of you watching this, what this audit will expose is that you actually have too many Band-Aid fixes on top of each other. Usually we see this in companies that have been around for a long time because instead of revamping everything from scratch, it's a lot easier and makes you feel better to just tap things on top of each other. At that point, and to be blunt, the highest leverage thing you can do isn't patching it. It's much easier to rebuild the website on a foundation that is already optimized for conversions and average order value right out of the box. That's what Debutify is. It's a Shopify app built specifically for D2C brands that want conversion architecture built right in. Upsells, trust signals, AOV boosters, conversion optimizations, all built into the theme without having to hire a developer or use a dozen different apps. If your audit tells you it's time to rebuild, that's where I'd start. I'll leave a link in the description as well as a discount code for you. Here's what we actually find when we run these audits. And I want to be clear, these are not edge cases. These are the same 5 issues that we find across 90% of brands. Gap number 1 is no trust signals above the fold on the product page. Trust signals, money back guarantees, reviews, security badges, even money back promises all need to be prominent and above the fold on that product page. If they're buried down at the bottom of the page, people won't see them and they're useless. Gap number 2 is an interesting one, and this is that there's no FAQ section. You'd be surprised on how many brands actually miss out on adding an FAQ section on their product page. Everyone's got it on their homepage or a dedicated page for FAQs, but the product page for whatever reason goes overlooked more times than I'd like to admit. A couple things I would do here. Number 1, answer the key questions, shipping time, returns, normal things that people want to know. But then the next thing I would do is go through all of your reviews, look at the 1 and 2 star reviews, pull out the common things that people are talking about, and then objection handle right off the bat in the Q&A section. Because if you already know that people are going to buy it and then be unhappy for those reasons, you might as well take the opportunity, spin it into a positive in some way, and place it in the website so it makes sense. Gap number 3 is terrible visual hierarchy with product information. A lot of people love to take a ton of information, throw it onto effectively like a wall on the screen, and just slam it in your face and expect you to read a 3-page novel. That's not going to work. The brands that convert well are the ones that make buying decisions as easy as possible. They make it a no-brainer. And so what that means is I don't want to have to read through a million things to get to the bottom of what it is that you're actually selling and if it's right for me. I want you to just tell me whether it is, give me some visuals, and let's call it a day. Gap number 4 is a cart page with no urgency, no reason to buy right now, just the products that I add to my cart and a checkout button. If you're running a discount, it must be visible in the cart and be prominent in the cart. If it was $100 and now it's $80, don't just cross out the 100 and put 80. All you got to do is add a little thing that says you're saving and then the dollar amount. And that looks 10 times better and makes the customer feel a lot better about making that decision because they're not spending money, they're saving money. Gap number 5 is a post-purchase experience that ends at the confirmation thank you email. That email should do 2 things. Number 1 is let the customer know that their order went through. And number 2, it should ask them to spend more money in some way. So whether that's giving them a 50% off discount on 3 different products of their choice, whether that's offering to upgrade the shipping to make it a lot faster, these are all things that you can do in the thank you email that is like free money. People have already given you their credit card, so add some options to upsell them into other things that you also sell. Now let's talk about what this could actually be costing you as a business. Let's take a brand doing $2 million a year. At a 2% conversion rate, they're converting roughly 1 in 50 visitors. And now let's say they're getting 50,000 visitors every single month. If fixing the product page alone increases their conversion rate by 0.5%, from 2% to 2.5%, that's 250 additional purchases every single month. At an average order value of, let's say, $80, that's an extra $20,000 a month or $240,000 a year, all from 0.5% conversion rate increase. So you've run the audit, you found the gaps, now what? What do you actually do next? Where do you start? Well, here's what you should do. Start with the product page. This is where most people are going to land when you're running ads, and it's your highest leverage opportunity. Then move to the cart page. This is the area that has the highest intent of people actually making that purchase. They're right on that 1 yard line, so push them over the line. Then lastly, your post-purchase. This is just pure profit at the end of the day. If you know people have already spent the money with you, you can give them a huge discount or offer them great incentives, and it's just extra revenue for you. The principle that we operate by is very, very simple, logical when you think about it, but much more difficult for people to actually execute on. because it requires you to do the hard thing first. First, we fix the funnel, then we spend more on ads. When you do this, something interesting happens to your ad performance. You get more money out of the same amount of ad spend. Your ROAS ends up going up, and not because you did anything to the campaign, or you did a new photo shoot, or you added new ad creatives. Literally just because you made use of the customers you were already getting through the door. If you got to this point in the video and you're like, Brennan, I don't want to do the audit myself, I'll give something to you for free because you made it this far. I'll get you a free audit. All you got to do is click the link in the description and we'll take care of you. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.